Hello students. I just want to let you know this is an intro to the Word document that I'm going to show you how to work with in our first part of Microsoft Word. This isn't the tutorial over Word Chapter 1, but it is a tutorial over how to get around in Word, like the basic navigation of Microsoft Word and some of the changes from 2007 to 2010. So that said, enjoy, and if you have any questions, please let me know, and I will be making more videos throughout the term, but this is just an intro to how to get around Word and some of the changes. Okay, students, like we had discussed before, I wanted to give you kind of a short little breakdown of the navigation in Microsoft Office 2010. If you have 2010, it's a little bit different from 2007, not terribly, but you still have the tabs and all that fun stuff. So I just kind of want to give you a real quick breakdown and try to make this as quick as possible. So if you look in your document window here, one of the main things that's changed from 2007 is we now have this File tab up here on the left if you follow my mouse up. What we used to have was an Office button that looked like this one down here on the bottom left. That's the Start button now. So what happened was people freaked out because they said, oh my gosh, you took our File menu, because back in the day that was, that's how everything started. It was File, Edit, View, Format, something across the top. So people said, please don't take our File menu, we need it. So now, instead of that Office button, we have our File tab back. So when you click on that, you have what's called a Backstage View. Now this is on my personal computer and there's nothing on here that's going to make any difference. I'm not too worried about it, but these are some of the things that I've been working on. I'm working on my doctoral degree right now, so these are some of the assignments that you see that I have to do for my classes. Then also over here on the right hand side you got some recent places that I've been. So on the left over here where you've got Save, Save As, Open, Close, Info, Recent, New, Print, Save and Send, which is a new feature, Help, Options, and then you've got the Exit button. So first thing let's do is, and I want you to get into the practice of doing this every time, we want to save our document. Now I'm just opening this up as just kind of a practice thing, so I'm just going to click on the File button and do a Save As. And then I'm going to save mine on my desktop. Now you can save yours wherever you want, flash drive, Z drive, wherever you might be. But if I look and scroll down here on the left hand side, I've got some choices. Here's where your flash drive would be if you had one of those installed. But like I said, I'm just going to save mine on my desktop here, and I'm just going to save it as practice. And it's always a good idea. This underscore is actually the Shift dash button. It's to the right of the 0 button in the top row. And the reason that a lot of us do that instead of putting a space there is it just helps the computer a lot of times, because when a computer tries to read a file name, computers don't recognize spaces because they're absent. It's just an absent void space, and sometimes, not very often, but sometimes it's hard for a computer to understand that. So I'm just going to click Save. Okay, so now we got our document. So I want to go back over here to this is the Backstage View. And remember, the Backstage View is actually kind of like a backstage in a play. It's where all the stuff goes on behind the scenes that you don't see. So our print button has went back here along with some of our settings for the page layout. If we want to turn the page like layout or portrait position, it's here. If you want to print to a different printer here, which I've got this on my home printer. So these are some of the different, you can change them here, and you can also change them out in your page layout tab. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else really important. Oh, one thing that you might be interested in the new button, we have these things called templates, which are really cool, and it's kind of, teachers are the best at this, where we don't reinvent the wheel a lot of times. So if somebody's already made something for us, good deal for us, we can go from what they've got. You can even search like office.com for templates as well. So what we can do here is, one thing I noticed, because that's what we're doing in Word Chapter 1, is we're doing these things called flyers, which are just like little signs you would do. Now if you're going to do a blank document, we would just hit create, but let's look at this real quick. I'm going to click on flyers. And here are all the different kinds. So let's say, I don't know, let's look at the marketing flyers to see what they have there. Oh, okay, cool. So, and again, you may have different ones on your computer. It just depends. So I'm just gonna, let's see. Gosh, there are a lot to choose from, and I'm kind of flying from the hip here. So I'm just gonna click this counseling flyer. That kind of looks neat. Okay, looks pretty good. I'm just gonna hit download. I think I could use some counseling sometimes. Maybe that's why that appeals to me. But anyway, and again, this is not something you're going to use a lot, but you know, if it's something you think a lot of people might have used, it might be a good thing to look at. I do this with like budgets. If I'm making any kind of budgets for my home, for my classes, for my clubs and organizations that I'm in, I like to use the budgets that are already made in the Excel program. So that might be an option for you. So you have to forgive, my wireless is a little bit slow, so let me wait and wait here. So and it will actually save to a little folder there on your computer, wherever you've got it set to save, where your templates go. So it should, when it finally loads, come up here. There we go. So now you've got a nice little paper here. Now if you notice, again, this is kind of gibberish, but that's on purpose because this is a template. So a template is kind of like a blank check, if you will, where Word gives you the design, but you have to fill in the details. So if you look, I've got this here. Now if you look down here on the bottom right hand side, you've got this zoom slider, which is a really nice way for you to kind of look at what the whole piece of paper is going to look like. And a lot of times I'll bring that all the way out so I can get a good picture of it. Now you don't want to do a lot of editing here, obviously, because it's going to be hard to do or hard to see because it's so small, but it does give you a really good idea of what it's going to look like without having to do a print preview. If you noticed when I downloaded this, if you look up at the top, my file name changed from the practice document earlier to this document 2, and that's because we downloaded a template, so it opened a new file. It just kind of took that as, oh, okay, this is what you want to do. So that's a really easy, quick way to do a template. So let me get rid of that. All right, let's go back to our practice window there, and again, really quick, I just want to show you around. So these up here are called tabs: home, insert, page layout, references, mailings, review, and view. And what Microsoft did was, we used to have these things where we would have to go, file, drop that down, then go to new, and then you have all these dialog boxes open. Well, what these do across here, these are called ribbons that go across the top of the page, is instead of having to go into all these dialog boxes and menus, it gave us the option to have everything right in front of us where we don't have to open anything to get there. So instead of having to go to format and font and center things like we used to have to do, it's super easy to do now. Like if I type my name, I can just click center and it puts it in the center. So instead of having to make all those extra steps and clicks, they made it so much easier for us. Also, they built in these great things here called styles, which again, I love these, and especially this title one. It automatically gives you a nice professional looking title. So then also, of course, your font size, your type, all that fun stuff is here. Your bullets and numbering, your fill, borders, all that fun stuff. Copy and paste as well. So if we go over to insert, that's kind of where we get to do some fun stuff. So let's say, for example, I want to insert clip art. And I'm going to insert a computer. Okay, so wow, there's a lot of choices there too, so let me try to pick something really fast here. Maybe. My computer's not one to be fast, of course. Alright, give me something here. Okay, this looks pretty cool. Little baby in the computer. And okay, here we go. Oh, how cute. All right, so now we've got a little picture, well, not a little picture, but a picture inserted now in our document. Now, here's something that's important, and you're going to see this again. When you click on a picture or other elements of your Word document, if you notice up at the top, you get a brand new tab. When you click off the picture, that tab goes away. Those tabs are called contextual tabs. And I'll type it down here just so you can see it. What a contextual tab is a tab that shows up only when you're dealing with a certain part of your paper. If you talk about something being in context, you're talking about a specific part of a conversation or information. So that's why it's called a contextual tab, because it only shows up in the context of what you're working with. So, and we'll talk about all that later, but I just want you to know that's what that is. So make sure you commit that to memory. Our page layout tab, you're going to spend a lot of time here. We've got themes, which I love, and I'll talk about like in our first couple lessons. The orientation of your paper, you can change from portrait to landscape, which turns, you know, from one side to the other. Margins are adjusted here, columns, page breaks, page borders, which you're going to be using that quite a bit, so I'll just stick a real quick page border on there. Super easy. Watermarks. You can color your pages, all kinds of cool stuff. References, you're definitely going to need to know this in the second chapter, and I'll talk about this. Research papers, if you haven't done one, you're going to do one. I'm sure you're in college now. You need to know how to use this. And I don't know if anybody remembers all the bibliographies that you have to do and all that crazy stuff. This is a really super easy way to manage your sources and to insert a bibliography within less than 2 minutes. Instead of having to look up how your paper should be formatted, all you have to do is click a button. It's wonderful. Mailings, which this is more of an advanced Word feature, but mail merge, which if you have a lot of information about addresses, you can actually print out all the mailing labels at one time, and you don't have to enter the information again on a pre-formatted sheet. If you're interested in that, I'd love to tell you how. You just have to pull me aside because we don't really cover that in this course. Review, that's where I can look at your paper. I can make changes to your paper, add comments to your paper. Like for example, if your name's here, I can say your name is misspelled, which would be really bad, but it happens. So you can also track changes, all that fun stuff. And again, we'll talk about that later on. This is just a real quick way to get around. The view, really cool. This is a print layout. You can also do a full screen reading layout. You can do your web layout, which we don't use that very much anymore. An outline layout, which is again for a very special cause. Where'd we go? And the draft layout, again, we don't use it very often. 100% of the time in this course, you're going to be in the print layout, unless of course you're in print preview. So this is pretty much where we're going to live here for this course. So again, this is just a really quick way to get around Microsoft Word. Super, super easy. And just kind of go over some of the changes from 2007. The big change from 2007 again is this file button. That's the main thing in the Backstage View. Something you might want to take a look at, and I'll try to hit it as many times as I can, is this really nice save and send, which is a really great way now, instead of it taking 2 steps where you have to make the document, then you have to go into your email and send it that way, or send it, you know, through Facebook or whatever, however you send documents. This is a really nice way just to make it a one-step deal. Also, if you've ever seen PDFs, which our syllabus actually, the one you downloaded, is in the form of a PDF. PDFs are a universally accepted type of document. So even if you don't have Microsoft Word, if you send it as a PDF, which is made by Adobe, Adobe Reader is free, so anybody can view a PDF. And also it's a way to protect your work, because most people don't have the software or their capacity to download a PDF and make changes to it. So if you like my syllabus, one way to protect myself from somebody saying, oh, well, your syllabus look like this is I save it as a PDF. That way everybody can read it, and it's really hard for anybody to change it. Not that any of you would do that, but I'm sure it's been done before. So actually what you can do is, let's say I've got this practice document here. I can go to the File button, Save and Send, and I can say Send as a PDF, or I can save as a PDF. So I'm just going to hit Create PDF Document, and I'm going to save it just out here on my desktop again because I don't need it for a lot. So, and then make sure your Save As type says PDF right there, and then we're going to hit Publish, and then you're going to see this PDF document come out, and that's what it would look like. So just a really easy way for you to make a nice professional document. It's a nice way to do a resume if you have to attach one online, because not everybody has Microsoft Office or the newer version, but everybody can read a PDF. So maybe something to think about for you all. So I think that's it for this video. This is just going to be like the navigation intro to Word, and then I'll try to do one on flyers either tonight or sometime tomorrow and get it posted. So good luck with your assignments. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you guys soon.